I think I'm at the point now where I just want to and I feel like maybe we talked about this the other day, but I feel like I'm kind of introducing the concept in my mind of a graceful exit.
Right now, we formally entered what will turn out to be one of the most significant periods in rap music history, because we are about to see a lot of things that will eventually advance hip-hop and take it to new heights that we don't even fully comprehend yet, especially with Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance practically here. But we do know that the issue that everyone is asking right now, will Kendrick Lamar be singing the song that Drake is now attempting to remove from everything, is at the heart of everything that is happening in relation to Kendrick and the Super Bowl. As we get closer to everything, it's becoming increasingly obvious that Kendrick Lamar will be performing what many are calling the greatest diss track of all time at the biggest event of the year. Drake's recent actions have all been an attempt to scare the NFL and everything that goes into the Super Bowl from playing a song that he is trying to say has done so much to his career. Please remember to subscribe and leave a like before we delve any deeper into the reasons for this. The NFL is now attempting to avoid even spreading the word about Kendrick Lamar's performance, which is now becoming an almost bigger event than the actual game. After Drake fans and those depressed people at OVO tried to push the narrative that the record won't be played at the halftime show because of what Drake is now saying about Not Like Us. This ridiculous line of lies intended to save Drake's reputation before we witness something unprecedented has now failed. The second teaser for Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance, which was released less than 30 seconds ago, naturally sparked even more excitement for what is certain to be one of the most amazing evenings in music history. Not just rap, there's a lot on the line. When he was even announcing that SZA would be a special guest, Kendrick put a lot of work into this clip. Before we go any further, it's important to note that this feud began when Drake told Kendrick that SZA had him completely destroyed. Now she's coming out as a supporting act for Kendrick on a stage that Drake has never been able to use. This is hilarious and worsens Drake's diss age than before. The fact that the Gatorade is blue, the color used when Kendrick's hometown won the Super Bowl in their hometown, and that it was also the same Super Bowl where Kendrick was a member of Dr. Dre's ensemble, just goes to show how, despite the trailer's minor details, Kendrick Lamar is already doing what he does best at connecting and demonstrating that this performance will seemingly be built on the standout moment he had there. It also emphasizes the fact that the West Coast is doing nothing but winning in the hip-hop industry. Beyond the similarities like these in this teaser, however, and this is what makes Kendrick so entertaining, he actually has a fantastic sense of humor when you see how he constantly makes fun of his rivals, even though people often try to portray him as being so serious and uninteresting. In this video, Kendrick specifically makes fun of Drake and J. Cole's "big as the Super Bowl" lyrics by stating that the field on which the Super Bowl is played is much larger than you may initially imagine. And they believe that Kendrick is further demonstrating his superiority over Drake as an artist and performer, whether you want to call it that. Between the Super Bowl and the stadium tour, Kendrick is performing in far larger venues than Drake, who has never ventured outside of arenas in all these years. Now, even the poster that was released shows Kendrick Lamar dressed entirely in purple for the halftime show. This color scheme and style appear to be a nod to Prince, who many believe to have had the best Super Bowl halftime performance to date. As with the Super Bowl lyrics by Drake and Cole, which along with Drake's MJ claims from the same record, really sparked this whole feud in the first place, Kendrick's reference to Prince after Of Course, everything Kendrick said all the way back in contrast, seems to be his way of making things complete once more. Beyond the fun Kendrick is having celebrating his win and all of his achievements after demonstrating that he is the greatest rapper of this era, and it's not even close, what is also becoming apparent about the Super Bowl is that given Drake and everything he has attempted to do and say about Not Like Us as a whole, there is actually a greater moment at play here than just Kendrick Lamar performing some of his best songs. Drake is attempting to convey that this record isn't as big as we all believe it is, and that a wider group of people than just Kendrick used the song to conclude his career in a way we have never seen before, according to the absurd claims he's making about it and the stories he's attempting to convey. And once more, considering everything now, It's clear that Drake is trying to get the Super Bowl schedule changed at the last minute and is doing everything in his power to ruin Kendrick's big night and preserve his reputation by attempting to have Not Like Us played to hundreds of millions of people. However, I don't believe Drake is aware that nothing he is doing right now has improved his reputation or the narrative he is attempting to advance, despite all the controversy he has sparked and the issues his claims are now directly causing to everyone from the NFL to casual listeners in general, aside from the small group of people who will always support Drake and whatever he does. Furthermore, nothing has been done to worsen Kendrick Lamar's situation. His numbers on all platforms are increasing in anticipation of this performance, and his songs such as Not Like Us, Luther Vandross, and TV Off are all still at the top of the hip-hop charts. A record like Not Like Us only gains popularity every time Drake gripes about it. Therefore, given the response and reception to Drake's actions, which only served to elevate Kendrick in some way, and the fact that we now know that Drake's downfall was as severe as we all saw due to his treatment of others, Drake's claims and his small OVO clothing line with the NFL teams won't help him in his attempt to get the NFL to alter what has been the biggest event in not just all of sports, but also the most watched cultural event in our country. I don't know when he will realize that Drake has been playing with the wrong people, who, if nothing else changes, would be the ones to support him. This is because of everything that goes into the Super Bowl and even beyond that, where Drake currently stands with someone like Jay, whom he has continued to disparage by posting a picture of Beyonce's sister Solange on his Instagram story from the night she went off on Jay again. But because of all the decisions he has made that have brought him to this point, as well as the fact that Kendrick Lamar received this halftime show, and because Kendrick is the person we all know he is, and because Jay picked him, he is obviously not going to back down from conveying the message he wants to get across. I have bad news for Drake. Despite his position in OVO, Not Like Us will be played at the Super Bowl. Beyond Kendrick, I believe their label also wants this to happen at this point, because when Kendrick performs this song, it will obviously be a clean version of the record, meaning that many things cannot be said in and of themselves. Instead, it would be possible to speak about the beat, what Kendrick says, and the crowd's reaction. Of course, whatever they say will be heard in the videos that are taken from people who are actually there, even though it may not be audible from our couches. Ultimately, Drake's career will be beyond any kind of return for good after this, regardless of what Kendrick does and where he goes. I would think that he will do some kind of entrance with a hook and at least a portion of the first verse when Not Like Us does play. Not only is this the song about him playing, which is obviously not a good look, but Drake has now responded and shown that this song has truly affected him. Naturally, this has led him to go so far as to destroy his entire legacy and attempt to downplay the impact of this song. But in reality, it is only making things worse and hurting his reputation. All of what we have witnessed and all of Drake's actions have essentially brought about the worst moment in not only his career, but perhaps the whole career of any musician in terms of destroying their legacy. The claims that this song is being promoted will, at the very least, be shown to be the most untrue, given his reputation, hip-hop, and even what he is currently attempting to prove with Not Like Us playing. This is especially true given how many real and authentic reactions this song is going to elicit. And as for Drake's current situation, even though there's still a lot more he is trying to prove, with everything at stake and with what Kendrick Lamar is trying to accomplish, this performance is a display for hip-hop music that we have never seen before, because even in contrast to the Dr. Dre halftime show, instead of having a performance that, aside from Kendrick, is showing how great of a legacy hip-hop has had, Kendrick, SZA, and whoever else may be performing will show how great hip-hop is right now and what it has to say to people in the future. This kind of thing could end up taking the genre to unprecedented heights. While all of this is going on, Drake's biggest dread will come true, because the album that killed his career will grow larger than it has ever been. In addition to being one of the most thrilling events we as hip-hop fans will ever see, this Super Bowl performance also has the potential to alter the course of history for all of the aforementioned reasons and a plethora of more that we are still unaware of. After all of this, tell me what you think of Kendrick Lamar performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. Is he certain to perform this record, or do you believe Drake has gotten his way? since we are now closer than ever to one of the most significant events that hip-hop fans will ever see. Everything that occurs from this point on is more significant than before. Although it's true given where we are with Kendrick, Drake, and hip-hop in general, this just serves to highlight the fact that hip-hop is an art form that is genuinely unique. Ultimately though, what Kendrick will do and the message he conveys on stage are at least as significant as the game that will be played because of the competitive atmosphere that this entire moment is bringing, which is something you just never see during other kinds of halftime shows. Therefore, please share with me all of your future forecasts. If you watch the entire video, please make sure to subscribe and like it. I'm eager to hear your thoughts. I really benefit from it. Now, if you want to see how even before this performance, Kendrick Lamar has made Drake even more nervous by demonstrating how much hip-hop has changed in the present as we are finally moving past the Drake era, and we are truly witnessing that with the number of rappers who are Drake's friends that have been falling off, watch the suggested video.